अरे बुक पण द्यायची ना. अर्धच काम करते, बुक पण द्यायची ना. हाँ, बुढ़े लोगों को करेंगे, फिर जिन लोगों को थोड़ा मेजर हेल्थ प्रॉब्लम है, जैसे लाइक डायबिटीज है, हाइपरटेंशन है, जो बीपी भी होता है, वो सब, क्योंकि उस पे मतलब थोड़ा सीरियस है भाई.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Okay. The last thing we learned was the toppling of a car. So we precisely defined how to take the torque equation. Right?
Sir.
We defined how to take
Yes,
the
sir.
torque equation. Extend the line of action of the force. Drop a perpendicular on it from the point about which you are taking the torque. Force into the perpendicular distance will be the torque. So let's solve one problem on it. This is a thin rod hanging from here. Mass of the rod is 2 kg. Length of the rod is 1 meter. Small m is placed at a distance of x. Small m is 0.5 kg. X is 0.4 meters. Find the tension in the string T1 and T2. Find T1 and T2. This rod remains horizontal. This rod remains horizontal.
Sir, capital M is mass of the rod, right?
Capital M is the mass of the rod.
Sir, T1 and T2 are torque, no?
T1 and T2 are
Torque, no? Torque.
टेंशन इन स्प्रिंग है
Tension in the string. Tension.
आइडिया भी कहाँ से आया यार, सोचने
Sir,
पर
torque
भी
करें ना?
मजबूर कर देते हो. You're beyond imagination.
नहीं सर, torque कहने को लगा torque. वो तो ठीक है वो.
Torque we didn't represent with the symbol T. We represented with the symbol tau.
टॉर्क में कर्व टी रहता है.
हाँ, got it.
Somebody is typing L is the length of the rod. दूर दूर तक कोई ऑप्शन है इस क्वेश्चन में अदर देन लेंथ ऑफ द रॉड? यूनिट्स दिया हुआ है मीटर. अदर देन द लेंथ ऑफ द रॉड L यहाँ कुछ हो सकता है क्या?
सो कैन यू टेल द आंसर?
I don't know. I gave arbitrary numbers. I'll solve. Wait a minute. Torque, take it about the center of mass in this particular case. Or even you take about the extreme end. Wherever you take the torque here, you will get the answer.
Sir, you may solve. Done.
Yes, sir, you can solve.
Yes, sir, done, sir.
Now, listen. This is capital Mg. This is small mg. Right? Small mg plus capital Mg is T1 plus T2. This is my first equation. Forces in the upward direction will be equal to forces in downward direction. Second, torque about center of mass is T1 into torque about center of mass T1 into 0.5 minus T2 into 0.5. I'm taking clockwise as positive, anti-clockwise as negative. Minus mg into x. Net total torque should be 0. हो गया? Right? Forces in upward direction should be equal to forces in downward direction. Torque about center of mass. T1 into this is clockwise. T2 into this is anti-clockwise. Mg into x is anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise torque is negative. Clockwise torque is positive.
Sir, I think answer is 6.5 and 2.5.
So you
That should be torque about center, right?
So answer is coming out to be 1.05
T2
G
into 0.5 is anti-clockwise. T2 into 0.5 is anti-clockwise.
Sir, we have taken torque about center, right?
Mg into x, connect these both points by a rigid body. Point about which you are taking the torque is fixed. Point at which the force is acting is free to move in this particular direction. This is anti-clockwise. So mg into x is also anti-clockwise.
Is T1 1.45 G?
Two equations and two variables. Whatever you people say is the answer.
We have taken torque on the whole M plus M capital M system, no?
Torque of the complete system about the center of mass.
Okay,
Because of T1, because of T2, and because of small mg. Capital Mg is passing through the center of mass, hence it becomes 0.
Sorry, center of mass won't be at the center because of small m, right?
Your voice is not audible to me.
Sir, he's telling the center of mass won't be at the center because of small m.
Center of the rod लिया हुआ है. You have taken torque about C. You have taken torque about center of the rod.
Sir, can you explain why we equated it with 0?
The system is in rotational equilibrium. It is not rotating. So the net torque is 0.
Okay.
Sir, so in exam will the same be given that like it's in
Right
rotational
now
equilibrium?
आप शुरू किया है rotation. Exam बहुत दूर की बात पहले ऐसी. Exam बहुत दूर की बात. Exam what they ask you will learn after the 15th lecture of rotation. तब तक जो बोला हुआ है उसी.
Sure, sir. Sorry, sir.
Done, sir, noted.
Done, sir.
Sir, you can proceed.
Okay. Now listen. Suppose I take a rigid body here and the body is rotating. There is a small lag here. 1 second, wait. Are you people there?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Now listen. This is a rigid body. One particle M1 is at a distance of R1, M2 is at a distance of R2, M3 is at a distance of R3, M4 is at a distance of R4, so on and so forth. Now somebody is applying a force on the body and making it rotate. It is some arbitrary rigid body. Some arbitrary rigid body which is made to rotate this way. Every particle in the body has a linear velocity, r omega.
Yes, sir. Sir.
Every particle on the body except the particle on the axis, because r will be 0.
Yes, sir.
Net total torque on this will be r cross f. This was your definition of torque.
Yes.
This was definition of torque. Right? Now, r cross m into a. Force on every individual particle will be m into a. So this I will write as sigma of r cross m into a. Why are you putting sigma? You are taking individual particles. M1, M2, I goes from 1 to n. then it becomes R here. At every instance, M A will be R alpha. If A is R alpha, you are taking tangential acceleration. You are not taking centripetal acceleration. You are taking tangential acceleration. If A is R alpha is a tangential acceleration, angle between them both is 90. Angle between radius and tangential acceleration is always 90. Angle between radius and tangential acceleration is 90. Right? This will be sigma of mr square into alpha. I goes from 1 to n. This quantity sigma of mr square is called moment of inertia. This quantity mr square is called moment of inertia. Moment of inertia. This quantity I is called moment of inertia. Right? Moment of inertia representing mass. How do you want me to visualize moment of inertia here? How did you visualize mass? Visualization of mass is F equal to ma. Just have a look. F equal to ma. You replaced linear acceleration with angular acceleration. Force with torque. Mass with moment of inertia. Linear acceleration with angular acceleration. Force with torque. Mass with moment of inertia. A is replaced with alpha. Units of torque should be Newton meter. Units of torque are Newton meter or kg meter square into radians per second square. Kg meter square is the unit of moment of inertia. Alpha is radians per second square. So either these units or these units are applicable for torque. Both of them will be the same if you calculate the dimensions. Right? What is moment of inertia? Listen carefully. What is moment of inertia? Have a look at this. What is mass? Mass will define the quantity of force I should apply for the body to accelerate with 1 meter per second square. Mass will define the quantity of force I apply for the body to accelerate with 1 meter per second square. I repeat, mass will define the quantity of force I apply for the body to accelerate with 1 meter per second square. Same here. Quantity of torque I apply for a body to have 1 radian per second square of an acceleration. Moment of inertia is the quantity of the torque required to make the body rotate with 1 radian per second square of an acceleration. Right? Take it down till here. We have introduced a new quantity called moment of inertia.
So you are giving the definition of moment of inertia, or we write it based on what we told till now?
Pardon?
Sir, you are giving a proper verbal definition of moment of inertia, or we write it on the basis of what you told till now?
We write it on the basis of what we have told till now. क्या मतलब है यार इसका?
सर आई थिंक उसका मतलब है कि
just now, should we
सर
write?
आप हमको एक डेफिनेशन देने वाले हैं अभी इसके आगे.
डिक्टेट करूंगा.
ओके ओके सर वही पूछ रहा था वो.
Okay, sir. So, can you explain me the fourth line of the derivation where you write sigma rm r alpha?
Sigma r and A is tangential acceleration. A will be R alpha.
Yes, sir.
So tangential acceleration will always be this way, AT, and this will be R. Angle between them will be 90, sin 90.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So I have one doubt.
Ah.
So why don't we take centripetal acceleration and why tangential?
A ka value I wanted to substitute taking only tangential because I'm dealing with the torque. Now my requirement is with tangential acceleration. So I took tangential acceleration.
Okay,
The
so
force which you are applying is making the body rotate, right?
sorry,
The
sir.
force which you are applying is making every particle go in tangential acceleration. The tension between the particles will provide the required centripetal.
So say if you wanted, you could even take centripetal acceleration, right?
That was not my requirement, right? Hence I have taken this. Then
Okay.
I'd have to take not just the force which I am applying, even the force between two molecules of this.
Okay, sir.
Sir, just 30 seconds, sir, please, sir. Sir, noted.
Okay. Write down the statement. Moment of inertia defines the quantity of torque to be applied quantity of torque to be applied for the body to rotate
Sir, can you please repeat?
moment of inertia defines the quantity of torque to be applied quantity of torque to be applied for the body to rotate with 1 radian per second square of an angular acceleration. With 1 radian per second square of angular acceleration.
So can you repeat the last part?
With 1 radian per second square of an angular acceleration.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So it should be I summation alpha na, because for all the particles in a body, the angular acceleration will not be same. No?
Alpha for all the particles will be the same. Reason, omega for all the particles is the same. And the rigid body theorem, angular velocity of the body with respect to any point on the body will be the same. If omega is the same, alpha will be the same also.
Okay, sir.
Because alpha is d2 theta by dt square.
Sir, will you be explaining the formula which involves the moment of inertia?
mr square.
No, sir, the one beneath that. No, sir, torque is equal to a moment of inertia into angular acceleration.
Torque is I alpha.
Yep.
You
Sir,
have
will
to
you
remember
explain the
this.
derivation?
Mass fundamental is actually equal to ma. Force is replaced with torque. Linear acceleration replaced with angular acceleration. Mass replaced with moment of inertia.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
So
Huh?
you said that angular acceleration of all particles will be same by the rigid body theorem, right?
Yeah.
But sir, according to rigid body theorem, angular velocity should be same. How is angular
When
acceleration?
omega is the same, omega is equal to omega naught plus alpha t. Omega is omega naught plus alpha t. Alpha is the same. After time t, will omega be the same?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
No, because alpha is d2 theta by dt square. Alpha is d2 theta by dt square. Theta is the same whether the ant is on my shirt or on my hand.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
No, it is one step going back. One step going back into derivations of moment of inertia. Now, beauty in Newton's laws was we never derived mass of a body. It was always given in the question. Mass of the body was given. Here, moment of inertia will not be given. You will have to derive. Different shapes of the body will have different moment of inertia. I repeat, different shapes of a body will have different moment of inertia. Moment of inertia. First of all, let me take the example of a thin rod. What did you derive in the previous derivation? You said sigma of mr square was your moment of inertia. Sigma of mr square. Now there is a thin rod. The rod is rotating about an axis passing through the center. Right? Consider a small element dx at a distance of x. What will be the moment of inertia of this element about this axis? Di is dm into x square. Di is dm into x square. Integral di is integral dm into x square. Why are you summing up all that? Moment of inertia of all the elements I will have to add up. Least value of x is minus L by 2. Maximum value of x is L by 2. Mass per unit length into dx into x square minus L by 2 to L by 2. I substituted dm as mass of this element, mass per unit length into length of the small element. M by L integral x square dx is x cube by 3 minus L by 2 to L by 2. M by 3L. L cube by 8 minus of minus L cube by 8. This will become L cube by 4. ML square by 12 is the moment of inertia of a thin rod about an axis passing through the center. Moment of inertia of a thin rod about an axis passing through the center. ML square by 12. Am I expected to remember this formula? Yes. I will derive all of them and then I'll summarize them on one board. You can remember those formulas. But it is a must that you will have to remember.
Done, sir.
Okay.
So can you please explain the limits once more?
X, least value of X is minus L by 2 to plus L.
Understood, sir. Thank you, sir.
It is about the center, no moment of inertia about this center, no moment
Sir,
square.
could you please explain the last step again? The last one, exactly.
L cube by 8 minus of minus L cube by 8 is L cube by 4. So ml square by 12.
So this ms square by 12 is moment of inertia about the center, no?
About an axis passing through the center of the rod. About
Sir,
an axis passing through the center of the rod.
Thank you, sir.
Noted.
So one minute.
Noted, sir.
So can you tell me, so how you got di equals to dm by xy? So I'm very confused. So
Turn the page of your notes. See what we wrote as I. What did we write as I?
sigma equals to I alpha.
I, what did we substitute? dm into r square, m into r square? M into r square is written as I, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
M into r square. What is r? X here. What is the element that you considered? dm.
Oh, understood. I'm very sorry, sir. Sorry, sir.
so where did you get the 3L from? The one on the denominator.
This is
Integration.
called 3. This is called L.
X square integration.
3 into L. Integral x squared dx is x cubed by 3.
Okay, sir, got it, sir. I did some calculation mistake.
Same thing. Mass of a body would be mass. Axis is not defined. My mass is so many 65 kilos. That's it. Whether you see from this side or this side or this side or this side, mass is the same. But moment of inertia will not be the same. Same thing.
Sir, your voice is breaking.
No,
Sir,
sir,
it's
it is
proper. It's
proper.
perfect, sir.
Proper.
No, sir.
Same thin rod If I want the moment of inertia about one end, about an axis passing through one end, consider an element dx at a distance of x. Di is dm into x square. Di is dm into x square. dm is mass per unit length into dx into x square. Integral di mass per unit length x square dx. Least value of x is 0, maximum value of x is L. M by L. L cube by 3 minus 0. X cube by 3 technically. Again, you will ask from x cube by 3, 0 to L. M L square by 3. Same thin rod. I change the axis. Moment of inertia will be different. Same thin rod. You change the axis, moment of inertia will be different. You mean to say about different axes, moment of inertia will be different? Yes.
So, sir, when they ask torque about a point, we first have to find moment of inertia about that point and then proceed, right?
Right.
Okay, sir.
For which we are doing our homework. For all the bodies, we will first find out moment of inertia.
Noted, sir. Yes, sir. Noted.
Noted.
So 1 minute.
1 minute, 1 minute.
Noted, sir.
Done, sir. Thank you.
Now listen. There are in fact two theorems called perpendicular axis theorem and parallel axis theorem. This is called perpendicular axis theorem. Write the complete word. Perpendicular axis theorem. This is z axis. This is a plate. This is x axis. This is y axis. This is y axis. This is x axis. Right? Now I consider one element dm of this plate. You are finding out what moment of inertia for that plate. Moment of inertia for this plate dm. Can I say Iz is dm into r square?
Yes, sir.
Can I say Iz is dm into r square?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Incidentally, r square can be written as x square plus y square. Pythagoras theorem.
Yes, sir.
Dm into x square plus dm into y square. Have a look. I will draw the top view for you. This is x-axis, this is y-axis, this is dm. This distance was r, this distance is x, this distance is y. Iz was this way, z axis was this. So dm into x square will be iy. dm into y square will be ix. Ix is moment of inertia of the body about x-axis. Iy will be moment of inertia of the body along y-axis. Iz dm into x square will be moment of inertia about y-axis. dm into y square will be moment of inertia about x-axis. So Iz is Ix plus Iy. This is called perpendicular axis theorem, applicable only for a plane lamina. Plane lamina means it should be a plate with no thickness. Plane lamina should be a plate with no thickness. Iz will be Ix plus Iy. Iz will be Ix plus Iy. Are you able to visualize this? Iz will be when the plate is rotating about the z-axis. Will be Ix. This is the x-axis. This is the y-axis. This is Ix and this will be I. But I can apply this only for a plane lamina. It could be a plate, it could be a ring, it could be a disc. Only for a plane lamina where thickness is negligible.
Noted, sir.
1 minute, sir.
Noted, sir.
Noted, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is called perpendicular axis theorem. The second theorem is parallel axis theorem. Based on these two, we can derive every body's moment of inertia. Parallel axis theorem. If there is an arbitrary body like this, and this is the center of mass of the body, ध्यान से सुनिए. If there is an arbitrary body like this, and this is the center of mass, moment of inertia of the body about this axis will be I is equal to IC plus M into D square. Moment of inertia of the body about this parallel axis should be IC plus M into D square. IC plus M into D square. Right? Now, two conditions compulsory. This must be the axis passing through the center of mass. Must. Don't tell me this will be the wrong way. This is the center of mass. I know the moment of inertia about this axis, I1. So I take this as D. I is I1 plus M into D square. Will be wrong. This must be the moment of inertia of the body about an axis passing through center of mass. You take this, it will not be correct. I will prove that for you in the derivation. Second, these both, bolo.
Can you repeat that statement? IC ka?
I'll send you the recordings. Such an important point. How can you miss that? I don't understand. What do you people do when 3 times I'm repeating? This must be through the center of mass of the body. Cannot be I1. This axis, this must be through the center of mass of the body. Right? Second, both the axes must be parallel. Both axes must be parallel. Hence it is called parallel axis theorem. This must be about COM. If it is not the center of mass, it is not applicable. Are both the points clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Now, can you show me an application of this? First of all, before I give you the proof of this, you dealt with for a thin rod, right? What did you tell me the moment of inertia about this axis was? ml square by 12?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
About this, I will be IC plus M into D square. ml squared by 12 plus M in. What is this distance equal to? L by 2.
L by 2. Yes, sir.
By 2.
L by 2 whole square is ml square by 12 plus ml square by 4. This will be ml square by 3. Is that the answer that we are expecting?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Parallel axis theorem. 2 points, 100% you should remember. This must be an axis passing through the center of mass, and the two axes must be parallel. Somebody typed, this too is applicable only for a plane lamina. No. Parallel axis theorem can be applied to any rigid body. It is not restricted to plane lamina. We will apply and we will show that to you. Take it down till here.
So you said plane lamina was one where the thickness was negligible, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Noted, sir.
Noted.
Done, sir.
Now we have to derive this. I showed you that it is working, but we will have to derive, right? Let me derive this parallel axis theorem. This is one arbitrary shaped body. This is the origin. There is one point P here, and this is the x comma y. This is the point P about which I want the moment of inertia. This is the point P. I want moment of inertia about an axis passing through the point P. Right? Coordinates of point P are A comma B. So this will be A, this will be B. So what will this length be? This will be x minus A. This will be y minus B. Coordinates of P are A comma B. Coordinates of P are A comma B. Coordinates of this element is x comma y. So this total length is x, x minus A is this. The total length is y, y minus B is this. Till here, did you understand?
So the origin
Yes,
is the
sir.
center of mass.
Origin is the center of mass.
Okay.
Got it, sir.
Now, what will be the moment of inertia of this small element about point P? Di about P is dm into this distance whole square. What will this distance whole square be? X minus A whole square plus y minus B whole square. Moment of inertia of this element about point P will be dm into this distance whole square. That distance whole square is x minus A whole square plus y minus B whole square.
Yes, sir.
Now I open up the bracket. I obviously have to integrate dm into x square, dm into a square plus dm into 2ax, dm minus dm into y square plus dm into b square minus dm into 2by. I'll have to integrate because I've taken a small element, right? And after integrating, I opened up a minus b whole square, x minus a whole square, y minus b whole square. dm into x square plus y plus dm into a square plus b square minus dm into 2abxy. I have rearranged these variables.
Hello, sir.
Sir, how to ABXY?
Yes, sir.
Write this separately, minus 2a integral dm into x minus 2b integral dm into y. Agreed?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So I have a doubt.
Huh.
So radius is, so the radius that is from x comma y to p will be x minus a the whole square plus y minus b the whole square, right? Because x, the value written in the brackets is the radius and should be radius square, right?
R di will be dm into r square.
Yes, sir.
What is r square? X minus a whole square plus y minus b whole square.
So, but there should be a square above, right?
Distance formula.
Bracket is
Pythagoras formula, distance
Whole
formula.
square.
Pythagorean formula.
okay, got it, sir. Got it, sir. Got it, sir.
Finally, you got Pythagoras theorem. Now, observe carefully. Integral dm into x will be 0. Integral dm into y will also be 0. Why?
Center of mass.
Center of mass. Origin is at center of mass. This will happen if and only if origin is at center of mass. Then m1 x1 will be equal to m2 x2. x1 is minus, x2 is plus. It's more like telling you if xcm is 0, m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m3 x3 upon m1 plus m2 plus m3, so on. Will this be equal to 0?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Integral dm into x should be 0. Integral dm into y should be 0. This works out if and only if this is the center of mass. Now you understand in parallel axis theorem why I insisted that it must be IC passing through the center of mass. If it is not, these both will not be 0. My parallel axis theorem derivation itself will go wrong if this is not about the center of mass. Now I about P, I about P. Now watch out for this. I about P is integral dm into x square plus y square plus integral dm into a square plus b square. Slowly you are inching towards the answer. dm into, what are the coordinates of dm? X and y. X and y, x square plus y square means will I get this distance whole square?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That means it should be IC.
I see.
Moment of inertia of the element about the center of mass plus m into a square plus b square will be d. D is the distance between this axis and the axis passing through the center of mass.
Yes, sir.
D
Can you
is the distance between these two axes. I about P is I about C plus M into A square plus B square. A square plus B square is D. This is what you told me was
Yes, sir.
parallel axis theorem.
Sir, can you please explain the last part again?
Like, tell me which among the two do you have it up?
Sir, the first one.
X square plus Y square is this distance whole square.
Yes, sir.
So dm into this distance whole square is moment of inertia about the center of mass.
Okay, sir, got it.
Sir, I had a doubt. Where did we use the fact that both the axes are parallel?
If not, how will you measure this distance d?
Pythagoras theorem.
Oh, okay. Sir, something.
That d will be the same all throughout. This body is a projection perpendicular to the board. The body is projecting out of the board or even into the board. This is one plane of it. So d must be between two parallel axes. If not, d would be changing. D will become a variable.
Yes, I got it.
So,
Huh?
so we have been given that the origin is the center of mass of the body, right?
You started with origin placed at center of mass.
Okay,
Origin
sir.
selection is my choice. I placed at that so that I could take my coordinates easy.
And so I have one more doubt. I'm not able to understand how d is the distance between two parallel lines.
This is the axis of the body of n got I about p.
Yes, sir.
While a square plus b square will give me by Pythagoras theorem d square.
Yes, sir.
That's it. A square plus b square it is d. Instead of d, you want to call it with another symbol. I don't mind. But that's the distance between the two parallel axes. I about c and I about p.
So the distance between the two parallel lines can be at any angle. It's not supposed that it will be only horizontal, right?
Then how will you define d?
Sorry, sir.
How will you define d between two parallel axes? If you want to define d this way, then that will not be a square plus b square. Have a look at it. Only this will be a square plus b square in the plane of the board.
Okay.
And the axes are perpendicular to the plane of the board.
Okay, sir.
D square is a square plus b square only if the right angle triangle is in the plane of the board. Rather, it will not be a right angle triangle if D is not in the plane of the board.
So that parallel line is still P, no? Right, no, sir? I have seen that parallel line to the center of mass y line is still P, no? उसके बाद वो कर्व हो रहा है ना?
ये बंदा क्या बोल रहा है? Somebody help me out.
Sir, I am trying to say that the parallel line will be till P, no, which is the center of mass, that वो वाला line को parallel.
Sir, he's asking about some line parallel to axis P.
Yes, I am saying that the line which along with center of mass is there, उसको जो line P जो उसको parallel है वो P तक रहेगा ना, जो line उसको parallel है वो a square plus b square वाला जो line.
पर उसको लग रहा है कि एक्सिस हम लोग xy प्लेन में ले
Somebody clear
So
his doubt here.
So I don't think he knows that the axis is coming out of the board. I think he's confused.
अरे इतने बार दिखाया मैंने P is perpendicular to. I am finding out I about P. The axis is perpendicular to the board.
मैं कह रहा था
I about P is this. All of you went blank. Are you there?
Yes,
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir.
sir.
Hello, hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we are there.
We are present, sir.
सर मैं ये कह रहा था कि जो लाइन सेंटर ऑफ मास के अलोंग है उसको जो लाइन पैरेलल जो बना है हमने वो बी वाला वो पी तक रहेगा ना सर, मैं वही पूछ रहा था मैं। और तो
कुछ लाइन नहीं है, वो सिर्फ डिस्टेंस है।
अच्छा
Noted, sir.
Have a look. This is the ring. I want the moment of inertia of the ring about an axis passing through the center. So if I see the top view, this is R. If I see the top view, this is the axis. Axis is perpendicular to the board. Consider a small element dm. What will di be? dm into r square. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
This is the best derivation that you will come across. I have to integrate this.
Yes, sir.
Integral di is integral dm into r square
Yes, sir.
over r is a constant. Integral dm is mr square. So Iz is mr square for a ring. Best derivation that we will come across. Why is the derivation so easy? Here r is constant. Bring it out of the integral. Integral dm is m. Are you trying to tell me moment of inertia of the ring about an axis passing through the center is mr square? Yes.
Sir, then for disk it will be different, na? We have
It will be
to
different.
variable radius. We have to take from the center.
Now, for a ring, this is x-axis, this is y-axis. X and y are in the plane. 1 second, wait. Let me bring something circular. What do I have circular?
your medal.
Medal, right? Now listen. This is z-axis, right? mr square. This is x-axis, right? This is y-axis. Incidentally, this is y-axis, this is x-axis. Don't you think both will be the same?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Synonymous.
This axis and this axis are symmetric. This axis and this axis are symmetric. Are you able to visualize this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now what are you going to do? Perpendicular axis theorem. Perpendicular axis theorem. Iz is Ix plus Iy. But I know Ix is equal to Iy. So this is 2Ix. Iz is mr square. Ix is mr square by 2 or Iy is mr square by 2. For a ring, Iz is mr square. Ix mr square by 2. Iy mr square by 2. Ix mr square by 2. Iy mr square by 2. Right? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Sir, could you repeat the reason for IX equal to IY? Was network lag was then on my side.
करते हो या क्या
Sir,
करते हो?
network
पकड़ पकड़
lag.
के खड़ा हूँ यहाँ 10 मिनट, आप तब नहीं पूछोगे, दिक्कत बोलो।
हाँ सर, वो IX equal to IY का रीजन क्या बताया थे?
Symmetry.
अच्छा.
This is IX, this is IY.
Okay, sir.
IX or IY will be the same. By symmetry, it will be the same.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So,
हाँ.
so suppose we take the DM at an angle of theta, then also we'll get the same answer, right?
How will you take? Let me show me how will you take DM at an angle theta for again? यहाँ लिया है. So this is R. So again it is DM into R square. IZ is this way.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
There is no question of angle theta.
Okay, sir, got it. Noted, sir.
Now here one more structure need to be added with the same formula. ध्यान से सुनिए. Hollow cylinder. How do you construct an hollow cylinder? You will keep one ring over the other.
Yes, sir.
About an axis. What will I be? Capital MR square. Same formula. How did you get that? Consider one small element. It will be DMR square because one element of a hollow cylinder is a ring. Adding up all the rings will be capital MR square. So if you take a hollow cylinder this way, hollow cylinder, and you are rotating it about the axis, moment of inertia about this axis will be MR square. Why? How did you get the hollow cylinder? By piling up one ring over the other. Summation of moment of inertia of all the rings. Radius is constant. So only mass should be added. So MR square.
Sir, IZ, right?
Sir, IZ. No?
This is IZ. By default, this is IZ.
So by convention, we are taking IZ is perpendicular to the
The plane of the lamina. Any lamina you take, IZ will be perpendicular to the plane of the lamina. IX and IY will be in the plane of the lamina.
Okay, so got it.
X and Y will be in the plane of the lamina rather.
Sir, I have a silly doubt. If you place the hollow cylinder horizontal on a horizontal force, so will it be MR square upon 2?
No, you mean about this axis?
Yeah, sir.
This problem is a very interesting problem we'll deal with in the last. It's not silly, it's a tough problem.
सब सीधी
Right
सीधी
now
है।
you know the
Okay, sir.
moment of inertia only about this axis. Right? About this axis we will solve. We are yet to come. It will take us one more lecture to come till there.
Okay, sir.
So that Ix equal to Iy is also for ring, no? That Ix equal
Now
to
ring का ही किया ना यार. Disk का लिए भी it will be true, but right now we have done only for a ring.
okay, okay. No, because you shown on this.
Sir, is the lecture over?
No, no.
Okay, sir.
Now listen. Today we covered a lot. Let me summarize what all we did. First thing we derived torque equal to I alpha. I is moment of inertia. Moment of inertia में for a thin rod, you said it was ml square by 12. About this it is ml square by 3. You dealt with perpendicular axis theorem. This is z-axis. Iz is Ix plus Iy. Can be applicable only for a plane lamina. Parallel axis theorem. I will be Ic plus m into d square. It must be the center of mass of the body. Then we dealt with for a ring. This is mr square. For a ring about x-axis or y-axis, it will be mr square by 2. This is what we have done in today's class.
Hollow cylinder also.
Hollow cylinder is nothing but a ring.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So far, so good. Please summarize it. You
So
are
for
expected to remember all the formulas. Parallel axis and perpendicular axis, so you'll use extensively. ml square by 12, ml square by 3, mr square by 2. These formulae must be remembered.
so for the hollow cylinder, we won't take the perpendicular axis theorem, no?
No, perpendicular axis theorem can be applicable only for plane lamina.
Yes.
Cylinder के लिए apply नहीं कर पाओगे. So this problem is an interesting one which we will deal with at a later stage.
Sir, what does D represent again for the fourth one? It represents from the center of mass till the point
Distance
P.
between the two parallel axes.
Okay.
Distance between the two parallel axes.
All right. Thank you, sir.
So in the ring case, did we apply parallel axis theorem or perpendicular axis theorem, or just we use
We
that
use
formula?
perpendicular axis theorem. Ix plus Iy is Ij.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
So there will be other bodies as well, right? So if we summarize all together, it will be fine.
By then your classmates will keep forgetting everything. I cannot bank on them. So every class I will make you write n number of times so that you people remember it.
So lecture over.
Yeah.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Bye,
sir.
sir.
Bye, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.